Hello everyone, Dream Envoy here, and welcome back to more of Let's Play Winds of Change. Last time, we stayed in this one area and gone through every single one of these scenarios. There was a lot. And also I can interact with the scorpion for some reason. Rubbing his feet on it.
Wow, this is so soft. Aaron must have cleaned it last night.
It is?
Hold on, let me see.
I forgot that Alessa and Fort Town were here because they didn't say anything in the last part. Oh my god. The three of them started doing it in unison. They exchanged an awkward glance with Ulrich as we watched.
Seems like their priorities are in order.
Oh, come on, you have got to check this out.
I'll pass.
Why not? Why not? Anyways, I know that I could progress the story by clicking this, so let's do that. I made my way towards one of the private rooms to get some rest. It's been a long day, and the subsequent days show no signs of changing pace. This new life would simply be the nature of things. Everything was different. I'll let that settle in for a while. It'd be almost impossible to sleep as things stood. All of our lives were flipped around in an instant. Not only that, but put in danger too. There's no guarantee that any of us would survive this, and we didn't have a choice but to fight. At least I didn't. Regardless of my feelings, I couldn't turn back on Alestia. If I did that, I'd be saying my own life was more important than the entire world. Good for me! No matter how hard I tried, there's no way I could convince myself that was true. I sat on the edge of the bed, and I let out a loud sigh as I lay back. I don't get much rest before I'm shaken wide awake. The door to my room slowly opens. It's Valessa and Fortam. It seems they've disregarded both my privacy and the desire to sleep. Oh, come on. What if I was fapping or something? I rise to greet them, unsure of what to say. Having trouble falling asleep too? Could have knocked, you know. Good to see you too. I was getting lonely. Remain silent. I'd totally say that if I was trying to sleep.
Excuse me for trying to address something urgent. Fortum and I have been talking for a while. There's something we need to discuss. Now.
Yeah, we both came to the same conclusion. This isn't an order. It's more of a polite demand.
What is it?
Seer, you need to choose the next Elder of Valinorth.
You have a lot on your plate. You can't handle everything responsibly. Valinorth's future requires nothing but the utmost care and attention. We can't expect you to lead Valinorth and train with that blade.
True. Unfortunately, true.
It's exactly like she said. Listen, I know this may seem sudden to you, but we've been talking about it for a while now. We wouldn't feel comfortable leaving Peregrino without a new elder. Someone needs to plot Valinorth's future and make choices along the way. Considering you'll be busy with the rebellion, we want you to elect one of us.
Oh, I didn't think that the choice would come too soon. Well, if you've seen my previous videos, you already know who I'm gonna choose. Valessa nods and smiles. You have such a beautiful smile, Valessa. I'm sorry. I can tell they're both dead serious.
Let us carry this burden, Seer. Please.
I rub the fatigue out of my eyes and stare at them for a few moments. It seemed that, lately, people had a tendency of putting me on the spot. Their intentions were pure, however, to stop me from being overwhelmed. I hate being put on the spot in these important decisions. Any effort to alleviate the pressure shouldn't go unnoticed. I cross my arms and continue to stare at them. They look concerned. It's almost like an intervention. I doubt they'll lead without results.
Did we say something wrong? Look, he has no idea what to say.
And I thought we made our case pretty clear. Look, we're the best two candidates here. You should make your choice before the night is over.
We can talk about it a little more if you'd like. It'd be best if this wasn't a hasty choice, right? Let's think things through, like a team.
I'm with you, Fortam.
There goes that rest we wanted to have. Looks like I'll have to get comfortable.
She makes her way to the back of the room and sits on the chest. Seems uncomfortable, even for a makeshift chair, but she doesn't show it. Fortam yawns and rests his back against the windowsill, whistling innocently.
So, what do we talk about?
Do we really have to choose right now? Or do you want to be elder? Or do you want to be elder?
Like we said, ruling Valinorth requires a lot of attention. Quite frankly, we don't think you have enough to spare. Not with the rebellion and that blade in the mix, at least.
We just want to help you. For example, that choice about Peregrino, you could have left it to us instead of stressing out about it. Doesn't it make more sense to do that in the future? That way, it won't interfere with your training. You need to give that blade all of your effort.
You're basically telling me to not make important decisions, just focus on the training.
Yeah, and we really are the best two candidates. There's no need to worry about making the wrong choice here. I'm sure that both of us will lead Valinorth to a great future.
But first things first, we need to reconnect with the spirits. There's no point settling down on condemned land. We'll have to ensure our future before we plan it out.
Yeah, he's right. Anything else?
Well, let's redo things.
Well, I'm actually a fan of what Milas and his father have done. Valinorth has spent more than enough time being independent. We need to band together. We'll be strong enough to face any threat. Valessa wants to maintain our independence. We can't have that. How long until we're attacked again? The Triumvirate isn't our last enemy, and when that time comes, I want to have allies. We need to be strong.
I'm with you, Fortam.
I actually support your decision to turn this place into a barracks. We need to have protection in the future. It'd be stupid not to. Dominic has the right idea. I'm starting to dig the guy.
Yeah? Thank you, Fortam.
Is that all?
And Valessa? Just a reminder.
Because Milas and his father have given up Valinorth's soul. We need to stand apart. Our culture, our line of seers, they're special. Valinorth was and always should be independent. It's just fact. Whatever comes our way, we can handle it on our own. That's the way it's been for thousands and thousands of years. This is only happening because we stoked the Triumvirate's ire.
I'm just shaking my head repeatedly.
That won't happen again. And Fortum can't see that. He wants to unite with the rest of Alestia and give up our identity. Why waste all of our resources preparing for something that won't happen?
It could happen. And for peace sakes, it doesn't mean that we're all gonna give up our... Just because you're uniting doesn't mean that you have to give up your identity.
And to that end, why did you want to convert this place into a barracks? I think it's kind of beautiful on its own. It adds to our sense of culture. Turning it into a military operation we'll never use? I don't get it.
Why do you keep thinking that we'll never use it? And, it is best... I hope that we never have to, but it's good to be prepared, and... And, here's the thing. It's not like every individual country lost its identity when, the United Nations was formed. Or the League of Nations that came before it. So, I'm sorry, I just don't see your logic.
Any other questions?
I made up my mind. They both audibly gulped, anticipating my decision. This was it. I decided the direction of Valinorth's future. It will either be Fortam's unity or Valessa's independence.
Well, what is it?
Please think this through.
This would change Celestia's future. Strength or identity? I choose Fortam. He was right. We needed unity and strength in the future. Teaming up with the other nations wasn't sacrificing our identity at all. What did I just say? We are not sacrificing identity just by forming an alliance. We're just making protection. It was simply turning a new page in our books. I'm sorry, Valessa, but that's my decision. Time moves forward and things change. Valinorth was isolated long enough. Perhaps it's that isolation that led to our downfall. We lacked strength. Under Fortam's lead, and with my blessing, we'd find that strength.
Wow. Really? This is like a dream come true. I can't believe this is actually happening.
And I'm just looking at Valessa over there, and I'm sorry. I just think this is the best choice.
Yeah, that's a fact. Fortem in charge of our nation. You realize what that means, don't you?
Don't give me that
Yeah,
look.
it means we're finally a team. I won't just be tagging along anymore. The three of us are Valinorth now. We can travel the world together, creating alliances. After we save Alestia, we can reconnect with the spirits too. We'll have a huge network of allies, ready to take on any challenge. I'm going to change history. This is insane. Thank you so much. I don't know what else to say.
Well, you're excited.
Well, I have a few things to say, but I think I need to get some sleep.
Sorry, Valessa. I do think that you're a good person. It's just that Fardam's ideals line up with mine pretty much perfectly. She stands up and walks towards the door. But before she leaves, she turns back to face me. It appears that she's hesitant, unsure if she should speak. Speak what's on your mind.
I'm upset. I can't deny that fact. But this won't change the way I treat either of you. I'm still your scribe, and I'm still Fortem's friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't want any grudges to, ruin our... That was my biggest concern, is that our friendship would be ruined by the choice that I make.
I'll get over this. I've gotten over much worse. I can still help Valinorth in my own way, right? In the end, maybe this is for the best.
Yeah, you can still... That second line, I can still help Valinorth in my own way. Yeah. She walks out without displaying much emotion at all. Was she hurt? I made the choice that I thought was most fitting. Guess I never know. I'll take her word for it. Things will be fine. This decision could never please both people, and I had to do it. Whatever ramifications came to this would be impossible to avoid. Turn back to Fortam, who looks extremely excited and deep in thought.
When we get to Mazeo, I'll be Valinorth's envoy. Meeting Domik will be completely different. It'll be diplomatic in nature. We can discuss how to better utilize the bond between our nations.
It's a good sign that he's already thinking about such things. This wasn't a light decision, and he'd have a lot of responsibilities. It changed the way he approached our entire journey from here on out.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't be thinking out loud. Wouldn't be a good idea to give away my strategies.
Yeah, I can't believe I elected a loudmouth. He winks at me and starts walking towards the door. But like Valessa did a moment earlier, he hesitates. Did he have something important to say before he left?
Hey, I was actually wanting to ask, do you think I could stay in your room tonight? All this talk about attacks and stuff, it has me scared.
Sure.
I mean, I'd feel a little safer with friends nearby. I can sleep on the floor if you don't want me to bother you. You won't even know I'm here. I can promise you that.
I know that this is going to be super affectionate, but I just don't like I just don't like having somebody sleep on the floor. It just doesn't seem right. It's not, I mean, it's not like we're doing anything naughty by sharing beds.
Whoa, are you serious? Thanks! I didn't want to ask in case you weren't comfortable, but I can't turn down the comfort of a warm bed.
You wait for me to get in the bed before he hops in. There's more than enough space for both of us to be comfortable. Before closing his eyes though, he turns to me and speaks softly.
Thanks, Seer.
It isn't much longer before we fall asleep. Much to my dismay, I get no rest that night. For the face had something else in store. The Triumvirate's castle? Before I can even comprehend what happened, I'm whisked away from Peregrino. This isn't a vision. Those don't happen so fast after falling asleep. This is different. Had I been kidnapped? Rub my eyes and try to take in more of my surroundings. Where am I? It's so dark, with architecture unlike anything I've ever seen. There's nobody here. I'm all by myself. Except for that. At the other end of the room, it pulsates and glows. I look at it. I feel something burn deep inside of me. Not in a bad way. No, this is more like a burning desire. It's calling out to me. It wants me to get closer. What is it? The One Ring of Power? Click the idol to walk towards it. Take one step, keeping my eyes on the mysterious object. Soon as my foot lands on the ground, pain courses through my body. I brought to my knees. It's almost like it's slowly draining my energy. Oh no, that was a mistake. When it subsides, I stand back up, but the desire hasn't gone away. I need to get closer. I need to know exactly what this thing is. My burning curiosity trumps any care for my own well-being. Even though I object to such a mindset, I keep moving forward. It's almost like my body is moving on its own, without my input. Step towards the idol once more. Do I have to? I don't see any other choice. Take another step and the pain returns to my body. This time it's worse. I'm brought to my knees and I can't seem to get back up. It's tearing me apart. I pant heavily, unable to move as it continues to harm my spirit.
Stop!
I immediately fall to the ground as I hear the voice from behind me. But it's not a bad thing, as I gain full control over my body. Whatever was controlling me, they had to put a stop to it. I turn around and take steps toward them, grateful. I could tell the farther away the object I was, the better. But when I reach this mysterious person, I'm not prepared for what I see.
It's almost instinctual now. Interesting. Sorry for not being here right away. I didn't know you'd come so fast. That means things have slowed down on your end. I see.
Hello, Triumvirate! The Triumvirate, I can tell right away because I was told what they would look like. Or at least one of them. So I only see one cloak before me. I start to panic and reach for the Blade of Exodus.
No.
Yes! They wave their hand forward and I can no longer move. Letting out a chuckle, they start walking towards me.
Even now, corruption grows within you. It can flow from the most noble of actions. But is that corruption what you truly want?
This is the One Ring of Power.
There is no way to discern the consequences of your actions. You act instinctively, much like before.
Before?
You do what you think is right.
Yes.
But what is right, and what is pure, well, those are two different things.
I don't disagree from you. They strike a pose as if they're lost in thought.
You know who I am, or at least, what I belong to. I speak not for the triumvirate, but of my own accord. Not that this would go against the wishes of my subordinates.
Subordinates? What, are you like the leader of the triumvirate? Subordinates? That's the question I asked out loud. Wow, I'm in sync with this character.
That power within you is a truly wonderful thing.
Thanks.
So much strength, gifted to you by the realm of spirits. But you have to ask yourself, is it truly a gift?
I don't know.
Do you act in Alestia's best interests? Or in the spirits? Until now, everyone in Valinorth assumed the two aligned. But things are changing. They're starting to make a push.
I've been thinking that. Are those spirits really good for Alestia? Are the triumvirates good for Alestia? Can we make do without both? I've asked this, because both Fortem and Valessa said we need to realign with the spirits, and I was like, is it possible to make do without the spirits? I'm just like, I'd rather be, you know, not dependent on something that we don't fully understand about. I mean, yeah, I'm for alliance, but you know, I just have some suspicions. Not that I'm any less suspicious of you, Triumvirate. You're creepy. I strain myself trying to move, but to no avail. Whatever they've become, they've taken over control of my body.
What purpose is your journey if it ends in complete corruption? Keep that in mind as you stride forward, and make those tough choices. Many of them breed corruption. The pursuit of strength, for example.
Yeah, everything can lead to corruption.
Before you go, I did call you here for one purpose.
Yeah, I would like to know, why did you kidnap me from Peregrino? How did you even manage to do that? They motioned to the idol at the back of the room before waving their arm. Okay, it looks more like a crystal ball, honestly, but... As the ability to move returns to my body, I stumble, failing to balance myself. How is it possible to do this? Can they manipulate spiritual energy within the blade? I regain my balance and immediately turn to look at the idol.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Precious. There's never been a more pure form of corruption. You seek to dethrone us. Isn't that your goal?
More or less.
In that case, remember one thing.
Sure, buddy, what is it? I tilt their head, and though I can't see their face, I assume they're smiling. Do they even have a face? With a final wave of their hand, I collapse to the ground and my vision fades away.
The only thing that can destroy pure corruption is purity itself, embodied.
You know what that means? We have to get Junko! Not Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa. I'm talking about the other Junko from Toho. I'll put a picture of her for reference. I hear the words, but I seem to exist in a void of nothingness. I don't understand what just happened. I'm only left with a multitude of questions. Me too. My actions can influence the purity of corruption of the power inside me. That doesn't make any sense, but then again, maybe that's what they wanted. What is their definition of purity anyways? Isn't that kind of subjective? They want to confuse me, to try to push me down a different path. Of course they want to scare me away from decisions that would harm their reign. Or would they? Corruption or purity? Almost immediately I find myself back in Peregrino. I got no sleep. And thanks to what just happened, I doubt I would on any other night. The lingering fright that this made happen again. It was almost crippling. The sun shines through the window, illuminating the room. I can see how covered in dust everything is. Overnight patrons must be rare. As I scan through the room, I notice an entire section dust-free. Fartem was cleaning.
Oh, hey! Good morning, Seer. I saw all this dust and couldn't help myself. Sure, it lost me a few hours of sleep, but I don't care.
You make a good house guest.
How about you? How did you sleep?
Didn't really sleep, to be honest. Like a rock, I feel great.
Oh, well, I don't blame you. The beds at home are a lot more comfortable. I heard Ulrich talking outside. We're skipping breakfast.
We don't want to skip breakfast!
When we're all ready, we're heading to Museo. I think you can tell what I'm planning, right? We'll finally be able to share some apples.
His smiles on his ears perk up. Skipping breakfast didn't sound too appealing. But I'm sure Mazio would have no shortage of cuisine. Someone knocks on the door to the room a few times. After hearing no objections, they slowly enter the room. It's Valessa, and she lets out a loud yawn before speaking.
Oh, hey, Fortune. I was gonna look for you too. Glad to know I didn't end up wasting time.
Morning, Valessa. Sleep well?
I suppose so, all things considered. There's a whole host of questions I want to ask. As soon as we meet Dominic, I expect to get answers.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hopefully as the Elder, I can get him to talk. It's a bit different when it's a political ally asking.
Makes sense, I guess. Maybe I'll give you my list or something. Then it'll be a matter of Museo-Valinorth relations.
Not a bad idea, actually. Either way, I expect to know a lot more in a few days. I can't wait to meet Dominic and the rest of the Rebel Alliance.
So, are you ready to go? Ulrich and Pro are waiting out front. I guess the outlook is pretty close to Peregrino.
I'm good. Unless there's something else we need to do.
They both look at me. I guess it's my choice. Might be a good chance to get some private time with my friends. But Ulrich and Pro could get impatient if we waste time chatting in Peregrino. Either way, I know one thing for certain. I shouldn't tell them what happened. You sure? The Triumvirate taking me to their chambers and personally? Would they even believe me? Why not tell them? It seems like something they should really know. I should let it process for a bit longer and see if it happens again before telling anyone. Well, okay, if you need to process some things. I pause and they wait my next move. Purity and corruption. Oh, does that fist mean that I made the corrupt choice? Because I have seen that corruption icon before. Over the course of the game, you will make many important decisions. These will increase a background stat known as purity and corruption. Well, I know that I have at least one corruption. A representation of how you carry yourself in the world. It also determines the nature of the power you hold within and your values as a leader. You can keep track of your numbers on the save screen. Choices will not be marked by their alignment. Think carefully before making an important decision. Okay, so like you have to, make your own judgments before the game tells you if you made the pure choice or the corrupt choice. You won't know their true nature until afterwards. Icons are placed in the game world after making important choices. These will help you learn what has changed and reflect on your choices. Dialogue and key plot events will change depending on your alignment. Okay, so apparently I'm slightly corrupt now. Heart-to-heart conversations. You now have access to heart-to-heart conversations. These are access just like regular one-on-one conversations, but are marked by a heart. Each character has a personal plot that spans the entirety of your adventure. Make sure to access these important conversations as soon as you can. These conversations can only be played once, and your decisions are 100% final. They will impact your relationship with the character as well as their personal journey. Access enough heart-to-heart conversations with a specific character to unlock a special quest. These quests will earn you comrades' unwavering loyalty, and if you wish, even something more. Okay, 2 hearts, of course we'll handle everything together. Finding anything else good. Okay, these conversations cannot be done out of order. You must complete all preceding heart-to-hearts in order to do the next. They are key to solidifying your friendships and pursuing romantic relationships. Oh, so it's... Okay. And we already got 2 hearts. Yeah, let's take care of them before I end the video. First up, Alyssa. Alyssa is walking from one end of the room to the other. She looks annoyed. Could be a number of things, but I decide to talk to her and figure things out. Soon as I approach her, she stops in her tracks and lets out an exasperated sigh. Don't tell me you're still upset over last night.
I can't believe Fortum is in charge now. No offense. My vision for the future of Valinorth was just so clear. But now, everything is changing. It's not home anymore.
I'm sorry.
That is, if we can even find a way to save it. You know, reconnecting with the spirits or whatever. I'm starting to think that's quite the tall order.
Same.
I'm not saying it'd be any simpler if you chose me. It's just... Never mind.
You're disappointed.
I actually don't know what I'm saying. Whatever comes to mind seems to be coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, I understand you're disappointed. You had, ideas, and those ideas turn out that they're not coming to fruition. I understand that. That's extremely disappointing.
Sorry for rambling on. It's just a lot to take in. But being able to talk about it definitely helps.
Yes.
Thanks, Sierra. At the end of the day, being able to confide in you is great.
Yeah, it's good. It's healthy to vent, and it's especially healthy to vent to good friends. We'll handle everything together. Finding inner strength is also great, Valessa. I'm glad to help anytime. She blushes and rubs the back of her head with a hand. Shuffling awkward in place, I can tell she's flattered.
That's good to hear, Sierra. Nobody should go through this stuff alone. It's a lot better. Feeling like I'm part of a team.
She seems to disregard my advance, so I decide to back off. Wasn't supposed to be an advance, but okay. Perhaps the timing wasn't perfect. I could always try again later.
Let's not get too far off track, alright?
So I do get a read of her next expression, but she shuffles about some more. Taking a few steps away from me, she rests her back against the wall. Step closer to her, inching ourselves away from Fortem. Oh my god.
What am I going to do? From this point forward, your visions are very important. I doubt that the one you had about Valinorth will be the last. Especially now that this blade is involved in everything.
I'm starting to think maybe I should have gone with the one hard option. Maybe that would be closer to, what I was trying to do, but okay.
We need to make an important decision here. Do we involve the rest of Alestia with this stuff? Or do we keep the visions to ourselves, like always?
Do we involve the rest of Alestia with this stuff, or do we keep the visions to ourselves, like always? That's an important question.
If we start to serve them with our visions, they'll be dependent. After this war is over, they could expect us to keep helping out. Or even worse, people with ill intent could force us to help.
That's also a possibility. You got a good point.
Should we keep our roles as secret as possible? Or should we openly tell everybody who we are? This is the first time a seer has left Valinorth.
I think that it really comes down to judgment of who we can and cannot trust.
We're making history. But what kind of history do we make?
There's no reason to hide our identities, Valessa. You're right, we should only tell our closest allies.
Yeah, let's keep it contained to the rebellion. Other than that, only if it concerns our cause. Better than putting targets in our heads, right?
Yeah.
If everybody saw the potential to cheat the future, I can't even imagine what lengths they'd go to use you, Seer. We can't offer your gift to everybody. It doesn't work that way. If we helped as many as we could, we'd leave some out. Trying to help everybody? No, we'd just be picking and choosing. That's the best way to harbor spite, or in some cases, a desire for revenge.
I mean, like, I did that option. I chose the way I did because, you know, it requires some judgment. You can't just spout it out to everyone.
Thanks for giving me your advice, Seer. It's good to have some direction. I was feeling lost. I'm glad to know we can keep working together like this.
We can do more than just work together. Though, of course, the circumstances require more than other. Just don't bother me. Oh, that's mean!
And I'm glad we can rise to the challenge. That's good. Something tells me there'll be more challenges to come. But as long as we band together and talk it out, we can do this.
Right. With a wide smile, I can sense a newfound determination within her. Something in there. Something that wasn't there the moment we began talking.
Let's get things moving, alright? Like I said, I have a better sense of direction now. Or at the very least, my mind is more clear. That's all I needed.
I'm glad. Let out a loud sigh, she starts to walk away. I'm glad I decided to reach out to her like this. A clouded mind could affect her performance. If we wanted to win this, everyone needs to be resolute. Shouldn't miss any opportunity to bond with my friends and comrades. There you go, I agree. Their survival and future would directly relate to their morale. Yep, just like Dominic. Taking things further. So that was Valessa, how about Fortan? Looks like something is bothering Fortan. I approach him and decide to ask what's on his mind. He seems a little startled, like he was indeed lost in thought.
Oh, hey there, Seer. What's wrong? Nothing, really. I'm just thinking about, well, everything. This will be the last time we see Peregrino. When and if we come back, it'll be a barracks. I know that's what I wanted, but I had fun here. I'm just thinking about the future a lot. I gotta figure out how to make you proud. As Elder, I mean. Just give me some time to figure stuff out. Then I'll shine. It's not like I can fully adapt to being our leader in one night.
Yeah, that's right. Gives me a nervous laugh before shuffling awkwardly. There's something else on his mind, I can tell. But it's not my place to pry, so I wait for him to speak.
Thanks for letting me sleep here with you, by the way. It helped me process things in my head a little bit more. If it weren't for that, I would have been too scared to think. Like, what if they attacked in the middle of the night? We all know they'd have to pass by Peregrino first. I was honestly scared we might die here last night. So yeah, thanks a million. But there's one more thing I want to say. Last night, I had a really bad dream.
Let's hear it.
We were making our way down toward Mazeo, but we weren't with Pro and Ulrich. It was our parents.
Oh no.
I kept telling them not to go. I knew they wouldn't come back.
Oh no. He clenches his fist and trembles slightly.
But they didn't listen. They just kept going. I ran until my legs could barely move, and then I ran even more. It actually felt like I could save them. If I only tried.
Far, Tom.
Eventually, we made it to the gates of Mazeo. Or at least I think they were. I've never actually been there. But this is the worst part. They finally turned to face us. And that's when I realized something shocking. I don't remember what my parents looked like, Seer. Their faces were a blur, almost like they were nobody.
Oh my god.
They started to speak, but I didn't recognize their voices. Has it been so long that I'm forgetting my own parents? I tried so hard to picture them when I woke up. I couldn't.
This is incredibly sad, and to think this is the last conversation we're having for the video.
When they died, everyone told me they weren't really gone. That they'd live on forever, inside of my memory. But even that's fading, Seer. What happens next?
Oh my god.
Back at the Grand Tree, I said I wanted vengeance. I wanted to take down the Triumvirate to avenge our parents. But this dream was kind of like a wake-up call, you know? Why should I fight for something that doesn't exist? And better yet, something I can't even picture in my head. There are so many reasons to fight, all of them less selfish.
Fight so that people don't have to go through what you're going through.
So, I think I want to fight for you. I want to make sure that you're safe, and you survive this. When it comes to you, the entirety of Alestia is at stake.
Don't just fight for me, fight for everyone. Continues to tremble, and I can tell he's fighting back tears. It's almost like this dream is helping him move on from his parents. He's becoming more grounded in reality, in the here and now. What should I do? I take a few steps forwards and wrap my arms around him. He gasps in surprise, and I notice his trembling come to a halt. A few moments later, I feel his arms return to the hug, squeezing tight.
I just miss them so much.
He sniffles softly, and he overcame his immense tears.
At the end of the dream, when they turned back, I ran toward them and tried to hug them one more time. But I didn't feel anything when I did, and the dream ended. But right now, I'm definitely feeling something, and I know this won't end. I know you're not going anywhere.
What if I die? He hugs me tighter, and I do the same as well.
This is what I need to fight for. The things that are right in front of me, the things that matter, and the things I cherish.
I nod and let our embrace continue. Seems to last forever, but I don't mind. I'll let it last as long as it needs to, for Fortam. Well, that's an incredibly sad note to end on. But regardless, if you like this part, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave behind a comment about how sad this is, or literally anything. And in the next part, I need time to process that. Wow. And I didn't hug him to be like, overly affectionate. I hugged him because he needs a hug. Like, wow. See you guys next time.